The silver price and gold price are rocketing higher this morning. What's the root cause? That's why you're here, right? We know, we can see what's going on. We can see all the symptoms, but what's the root cause as to why the silver price and gold price are going up in such a dramatic manner? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about black swans. One of the top investors in the world, a big name brand guy, is talking about a black swan not this coming year. Heck, it's 2024. I need to remember that. You ever forget it's 2024? I do. This year, a black swan. Yes, it is 2024. Today, as a matter of fact, is the 12th of January, 2024. I'll only screw that up about 6 more times this year. What the heck is going on with JP Morgan? I wrote WTF, but we're going to say WTH. What the heck is going on with JP Morgan? We know what they've done with the gold and silver markets over the years. We're going to talk about that as well. I'm fired up about JP Morgan and not in a good, happy way. But it is a good, happy thing in the long term for our friends silver and gold. New Jersey, big news about gold and silver out of New Jersey. And we're going to call BS on the U.S. dollar. We're going to talk about what all these big high-level analysts, they say all this stuff, and it's all a bunch of BS about the dollar. We're going to dig into that as well. But first, guys, obviously the biggest news of the day is the United States bombing Yemen. Let's cover that quickly. Just get up to date, the most up-to-date news that I have. This is a quickly evolving situation. This is from Kitco. Gold and silver prices are sharply up in early U.S. trading Friday. Last I checked, gold was up around $25, $30 per ounce in the spot market. Silver was up 70 cents per ounce, almost 3% in the spot market. Okay, and they're going up on safe haven buying. Remember that. That's going to be a critical component to what we're going to talk about today. Safe haven buying. Following news of U.S.-British airstrikes against rebels in Yemen, February gold, risk aversion is keen late this week. Risk aversion, I guess that means being averse to risk or being not to want to be at risk, as the U.S. and U.K. militaries bombed more than a dozen military sites used by Iranian-backed, remember that, Houthis in Yemen on Friday. So let's talk about the big picture here and what's going on and why this is so scary. Okay, you've got Iran, which is our enemy at this point, the enemy of the West, right? You have the Houthis, who are backed by Iran. You have all this trouble in the Red Sea, like shutting down a big portion of the world economy. The Red Sea is critical, guys. The Suez Canal to the north, it is like the super highway of goods and services going from Asia to Europe. It's a big, big deal, and there's big, big trouble in the Red Sea. The Houthis in Yemen had been attacking shipping in the Red Sea. The United States was there to try to prohibit that from happening. They had some operation, I forget what it's called, Enduring Free, I don't know, whatever they called it. It wasn't working too well. They actually supposedly attacked some of the U.S. ships, U.S. warships. The U.S. last night bombs Yemen. Why is that a big deal? Because Yemen is allied with the Iranians. The Iranians, let's remember, are part of BRICS now, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But the ICU, it's now called the BRICS ICU. And the I is Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. It's a powder keg situation going on in the Middle East right now. When the United States is attacking Yemen, is the United States by proxy? Or I don't know, I guess it's not by proxy anymore, but are they attacking Iran? Because Iran's back in the Houthis. You got the whole situation going on in Israel. It's a big, scary situation. We are not rooting for violence or war for the silver and or gold price to go up, but we are not going to keep our heads in the sand. We've talked about this, basement dwellers, right? We talked about the fact that this Middle East situation is a powder keg. Now, the scary part is, how will the Houthis, how will Iran respond to this bold move that was made by the United States? That's where, do they escalate or do they retreat and say, okay, we got punched in the nose by the United States. We aren't going to mess with the United States. We're going to retreat away. We're sorry that we were doing that. We'll let all the shipping. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not an expert in Middle East, but my absolute observation, what do you think? Do you think this situation escalates from here? Man, I mean, think about this, guys. Think about, right? That we're attacking Yemen, but Yemen is a proxy for Iran. Iran is part of the BRICS. We don't have exactly very good relationships with Russia and China right now, but then Saudi Arabia is in the mix. It's very complicated. I will not purport to you that I'm an expert in the field or that I have it figured out, but it doesn't feel like a situation that is going to fade off into the sunset. Does it not feel like a situation that unfortunately could get worse? It has sent the price of gold and silver skyrocketing. Okay, the United States and its allies struck more than a dozen targets in Yemen controlled by the Houthis and Iranian-backed militia. The Red Sea attacks, which the Houthis said were a protest against Israel's war in Gaza. Okay, there we go, pulling in the Israel-Gaza-Palestine thing, have disrupted supply chains. The American-led response is an expansion of the war in the Middle East. The Houthis have vowed to retaliate. Okay? The U.S. said that the strikes were meant to damage the Houthis' military capabilities. President Biden said, quote, he will not hesitate to act further if the Houthis continue targeting the Red Sea shipping. Let's repeat that. President Biden said he will not hesitate to act further if the Houthis continue targeting the Red Sea shipping. And then we have the Saudis that are calling for restraint from the Houthis. It's a big mess, in Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's just not just like, is the world not just completely screwed up because the Saudis were bombing Yemen? I mean, it's just a big, big mess. And at the same time, you have the world's top court. Okay. At the world's top court, Israel's lawyers are responding to claims that the country, Israel, intends to commit genocide against the Palestinians. I believe that's going on, what is it, in South Africa? Whatever. Forget the name of the world's top court. Not The Hague. I forget what they call it. Anyway, whoa. Does it make any sense with what's going on in the world, not just from a monetary, financial perspective, but from a geopolitical war perspective, that people are running to gold? Very crazy. I mean, what do you think? I don't know. It's important what you think. Let me know. Okay, you're a basement dweller. You're here. Thank you. Don't forget, guys, please give this a thumbs up. We got 150 people early on a Friday morning. It's my big, big, big honor that you join me here in the basement. You know you're always welcome here. Hey, let me know what you guys think about my new sign for Fortuna Silver. Hopefully you can read it. I spent a lot of time printing that thing out. Fortuna is important to Ron's Basement because they sponsor the channel. So we all want to say thank you to Fortuna. They're a top quality silver and gold producer. Okay, they just put out some news earlier in the week. They're paying off debt. Their operations have all been running very, very well. Check out Fortuna Silver if you might be interested in a global diversified gold and silver producer. It's a company that I followed for years and years before they agreed to sponsor Ron's Basement. So thank you, Fortuna Silver. Fortuna, Fortuna. All right, let's talk about, you know what? Here, let's go right to the Black Swan. You want to hear about Well, a big investor, a guy who's like a name brand, right? Like Mark Cuban or Warren Buffett or who are some other name brand investors? Ron from Ron's Basement? Yeah, no, not quite. But a name brand investor who's talking about a black swan. Now, let's review. Do you know what a black swan event is? A black swan event is just this. Hold on one second. I got something that might help you visually. Hold on. This, my friends, I can't really see him. This, I think, is a black swan. One of our great viewers sent this guy to us. What is a real black swan event? Okay. A real black swan event is something dramatic, crazy. Are we in for that? Is it coming? Okay. A dramatic, crazy event that occurs that shakes things up. But the key to a black swan event is that after it happens, in hindsight, when we all look back, everybody says, we should have seen it coming. We should have seen the tech bubble was going to burst. We should have seen the great financial crisis. We should have seen September 11th. We should have seen, any of these, the C-19 situation, whatever these black swan events are. That's the critical component. Now we've got Grant Cardone. Right? That guy, he's becoming very popular. I don't know a lot about him. I'm not going to tell you I like him. Do you like Grant Cardone? Do you dislike him? Do you even know who he is? Okay, let's talk about this. Here we go. This comes from Kitco. Thank you, our friends at Kitco. Grant Cardone says, U.S. elections could get derailed. This is the big election year. Don't forget, it is 2024, in case you forgot. How could you forget it's 2024? What's wrong with you? Come on, wake up. Wake up. U.S. elections to get derailed by a black swan event. Top 2024 risks by Gary Cardone. Okay. Cardone believes that one of the top risks this year is a major cyber attack that may impact U.S. elections scheduled to take place on November 5th of 2024. That would be this year, in case you forgot that already. We're all getting a little bit older, right? We forget things. He says, quote, I'll be staggered if something substantial, what most people would refer to as a black swan, doesn't happen in the next 6 months. Cardone told Michelle McCory, lead anchor and editor-in-chief at Kitco News, we like Michelle, we like Kitco, and quote, and a cyber attack in the United States would be very impactful. A cyber attack where they shut down our computer systems. We don't have this. Maybe they shut down. Maybe if I ever disappear, right, it's not because I'm not fulfilling my promise to you. Maybe they shut our internet off. Who knows? Okay. The timing of the attack would be set around the U.S. election, Cardone added. Quote, a major cyber attack in October would stop our election. Let's remember, he says, we had 2 major pipelines blown up by someone. We've had massive disruptions in crude oil. I believe he's talking about the Nord Stream pipeline, which they said the Russians blew up their own pipeline. We won't go down that path. There's different opinions on who blew up those pipelines, okay? All right, here we go. Cardone expressed concern that some form of a catastrophic event, be it a war, a cyber attack, or some unknown disruptive incident, is probable in 2024. Well, war, I mean, guys, this is a big, scary situation, what is going on in the Middle East. And oh my God, at the same time, what happened to the war in Ukraine? Which now most people are saying Russia is doing, anyway, basically they're saying it's not going well for the Ukrainians. Let's put it that way, okay? All right. Cardone described the world in 2024 as, quote, on the precipice of everything breaking down. Okay. All right. Cardone's concerns about a cyber attack were echoed by the World Economic Forum. We know we trust those guys. The website details how an attack with C-19-like characteristics could happen over the next 2 years. The World Economic Forum also worries that elections could be disrupted by artificial intelligence. You know, the robots taking over, the robots. I like to say robots, not robots. Robot? Is it robot or robot? I think robot. Quote, the growing concern about misinformation and disinformation is in a large part driven by the potential for AI in the hands of bad actors, a flood of global information systems with flooding global information systems with false narratives. So the world we are moving into right now is not exactly, wow. Now, let me read this final paragraph to you. The World Economic Forum warns that over the next 2 years, foreign and domestic actors alike will leverage misinformation and disinformation to widen societal and political divides. Now, I don't know that it can get any wider in the United States, resulting in unrest that could range from violent protest and hate crimes to civil confrontation and terrorism. I can't take any more gloom and doom. We aren't gloom and doomers. Greg Weldon said this the other day. We aren't gloom and doomers. We get paid to assess risk, guys. That's, you know, directly or indirectly, right? We want to protect ourselves. We get paid to assess risk. And there's a lot of risk in this world right now. That's why you likely, what do you do to protect yourself from risk? You hold silver and gold, right? That's what you do. Thank you, Craig Edmonds. Hey, guys. Hey, don't forget, please, thumbs up. It's somewhere down. I'm going to give you a, what's this called? Call to action. Please give this live stream a thumbs up. It's somewhere down there. It helps get the word out to more and more and more people. But how do you protect? Gary Cordone talking about Black Swan. Last time I'll show you this old guy, right? Here. Here. This is better. This is a black swan. You don't see it coming, and then there he is, right? Okay. We know what's going on in the Middle East. Oh my gosh. We almost forgot. Did you forget? Black Swan, cyber attack, artificial intelligence, number 1. What's going on in the Middle East, number 2? Oh, what about number 3? Can we remember? Oh, yeah, we have a war in Europe, number 3. Oh, and what about number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? What about everything in Asia? What about Chinese President Xi, right? Explicitly saying during his New Year's address that we are taking back Taiwan, that he apparently told Joe Biden when he was in San Francisco that, hey, Joe, we're going to take Taiwan by any means necessary. Oh, yes. So let's talk about why you own silver and gold. And we're going to do that. But first, we want to thank our channel sponsor, Pimbex, Pimbex, online bullion dealer. Many of you have checked out Pimbex for yourself. Many of you have sent me emails saying, thanks, Ron, I bought silver. Thanks, Ron, I bought gold, platinum from Pimbex. It was a great experience, and I got a great price. Many of you who have bought silver and gold from Pimbex have realized that you get the exact same product from Pimbex, the exact same metal that you get from the big online bullion dealers, but there's a secret. It's less expensive. So maybe you're buying a 10-ounce bar from Pimbex. Maybe this one. Hold on, let me show you something. Like this. My new favorite. I am in love. I have to admit, I am in love with this 10-ounce Geiger silver bar. Pimbex sent us that for the giveaway. If you want to register for the Ron's Basement Valentine's Day giveaway, where we're giving away this 10-ounce silver bar plus a bunch more silver, another 13, 14 ounces of silver. There's a link in the description of this and every video to where you go to register for the giveaway. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. You buy this from Pimbex. You can buy this from Pimbex. You can buy this. I'm not going to name names, but you can go on eBay and see what they're selling them for. You can go to the other big online bullion dealers, and here's what you're going to find out. You're going to get it from Pimbex for $20, $30, maybe even $40 less. So that money you save, you can buy that 10-ounce bar, and you can buy yourself a bonus ounce of silver. I think Pimbex is best. I think if you check them out for yourself, don't do what I say, but consider checking them out, throwing them in the mix next time you are looking to buy bullion online, and I think you'll agree with me. They check all the boxes. Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex is best, and they can help with IRA conversions to silver and gold. Just like when you buy metal, if you do an IRA conversion with Pimbex, what you'll likely find, find out for yourself, is that you'll get more metal for your money. Okay, I digress. Let's get back to why you are buying silver, why you are buying gold. We talk about the big picture, right? We talk about the symptoms oftentimes of why we're buying. But what's the root cause? What's the root cause why silver and gold are a smart investment? Okay? We can talk about, the dollar's going down, the dollar's going up, this, that, all these little factors. But at the root of it all, there's really just a couple key driving factors, right? A couple big factors, right? One of which I just said accidentally. It is 2024, in case you forgot. Nonetheless, one of the biggest factor, the cause, right? We talk about symptoms, but what's the cause for silver and gold holding their value, going up in value in real terms, not nominal, not measured in paper, not measured in dollars and unicorn fart? No, in real value. What's the real reason? At the end of the day, I will put forth the argument, the root cause, the biggest root cause is geopolitical uncertainty, geopolitical turmoil, right? At the end of the day, countries don't trust each other. They may trust each other temporarily, they may get along, but at the end of the day, gold is the power of the world. It always has been, and I believe always will be. Same with silver, right? Silver was actually money before gold was. Gold is the power of the world, right? They talk about, the United States was the hegemony, whatever, the world power, the dominant, the superpower of the world. Yeah, sure, it was, right? No doubt about it, okay? But that always changes. Great Britain ruled the world. The Dutch ruled the world. The Spanish ruled the world. The Romans ruled the world. Don't you notice a trend? Nobody rules the world forever, but when they do, when they're at the height of their power and influence, sure, they can do all kinds of monkey business. They can even decouple their currency from metals, right? They've all tried it, right? Remember tulip bulbs? You know what happened to Germany? All these stories of these paper money. Once they always decouple the money from silver and gold because they need to print more money. They abuse their position, right? But then at the end of the day, what happens is those paper currencies become worth less and then worthless. Isn't it funny how the way you say a word can mean two different things? First, they become worth less, then they become worthless. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this ability of gold to be the world power, right? That because of the root cause, which is geopolitical turmoil, which is caused by the fact that at the end of the day, people don't get along. Unfortunately, countries don't get along. Countries don't trust each other. What are we seeing right now? Countries are moving away from the dollar. Have you heard, basement dwellers, that the other D word, D2, de-dollarization, right? Selling of U.S. treasuries, selling of the U.S. dollar. The process has started. Goldman Sachs recognized it over a year ago. The big banks are even talking. It's becoming more of a mainstream situation. And what are they doing when they get rid of their gold or when they get rid of their dollars? They get rid of their treasuries. They're doing one thing and one thing only, right? They're not buying each other's currencies because guess what? They trust each other less than they trust the United States. We're probably still the most trusted country in the world, but that's fading, but they don't trust each other. What are they all doing? You know it. They're buying gold. They're probably buying silver as well. Jim Willey said it on Arcadia Economics the other day, like, eventually the truth will come out. I think about this. The central banks are the insiders. Talk about inside information. Do you think they're playing fair? Do you think they're playing fair? Right? We know the insiders are buying precious metals, the world's central banks. Why? Because they don't want dollars. Why? Because they don't trust each other. Why? Because gold is the superpower of the world. That's a new, you know what? What a great morning to have you guys here. That's a new term we'll use. Gold is the superpower of the world. Silver is the superpower of the world. Right? So we know the insiders. We know this much. Andy Schechtman talks about this. Pick up the crumbs. They give you crumbs. We know the insiders are buying gold. Do you think they're being honest with us? If they're telling us they're buying X amount, do you think just maybe they're buying even a little bit more? I don't know. I got to ring the bell. You guys, we got the 100 thumbs up. Thank you. 250 people, bright and early on a Friday. Let's ring the bell 10 times for you. All right. Thank you, guys. Let's talk about saying thank you. Doesn't it feel good to say thank you? And thank you for that super chat earlier. Super appreciated. Always super appreciated. But let's say thank you to our moderator team. They are great. I see Jim M, Jake, Annie, CoinShop, Chris, Craig is here, and Sassy Silver. Everybody's here. These moderators make this show possible. Type 8, because 8 is great for those who moderate, right? When you're a basement dweller, you're a good lady and a good feller. All you ladies and all you fellers. Yeah, boy. Anyway. Unicorn fart dust. Remember that? We haven't talked about that later. That's the U.S. dollar. That's what Jerome Powell, that's when he, when they got to start the printers again. Do you think the printers are going to get started in 2024? I do. Yeah. You know what's going to happen further to the price of silver and gold? I do. Okay. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I could be wrong. Don't make any financial decisions based upon anything that I say, but I can share with you my beliefs. You can have your own beliefs too, and you can share them in the comment section if you're subscribed to the channel. And boy, oh boy, there's a big price to subscribe to Ron's Basement. It's free, and we want you to be here. Your thoughts, your ideas, they're so important, okay? So let me ask you this. What do you think when you hear the word JP Morgan? A lot of us in the precious metal sector aren't very fond of JP Morgan. I'm sure they don't do it anymore, right? And I'm sure it was just a mistake, something that was overlooked. But a couple of their traders were convicted of manipulating the precious metals markets. But again, they're not. It was just a one-off. Some renegades. I'm sure that only happened a few times over the last several decades, and I'm sure it's not happening anymore. But nonetheless, I mean, what the WTH? What the heck? Let's talk about JP Morgan. This is interesting. Okay? Here, let me read you this. The largest lender, JP Morgan, in the United States, reported Friday, that would be today, this is breaking news, that it raked in a record $49.6 billion. JP Morgan made profit, annual net income of basically $50 billion. The most ever in the history of the American banking system. What the heck is wrong here? And we're going to talk about that from like 4 different perspectives, okay? JP Morgan makes $50 billion in profit, the most in the history of the U.S. banking sector. And it happened, this is great, during a year that was the scariest for the industry since the financial crisis of 2008. Oh, does it sound to you like it was a scary year for our friend Jamie Dimon? Well, he talks and he's and Jamie Dimon. Like he's smart or something. Whatever. Anyway, I digress. I never met the man. Maybe he's wonderful. I would possibly let him join me here in the basement for an interview. Wouldn't that be great, guys? Would you like me to have Jamie Dimon down here? The bear may come to life. Anyway, what the heck is going on in this country? It was the worst year for banking. Oh, but JP Morgan made the most profit in the history of any bank, probably in the history of the world. Hello? What is going on? Okay? 2023. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got to get something. Hold on. Look at all these papers. Bear with me. There's that. There's Argentina. There's the Dixie. There's that. Where is it? It's going to be at the end, of course, right? Thank you for your patience. Have a sip of coffee while I'm rummaging through papers. But trust me, this will be good. Argentina. What the heck's that? Oh, Venezuela. Look at the price of silver in Venezuela. Of course, it's going to be the last paper. Oh, here it is. Sit down. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Sit down. Do you know how many charts I print out for you? Do you know? Do you know how hard I work? Sounds like somebody I know. That voice inside my head. Okay. U.S. bank failures. JP Morgan. I want this to go viral. JP Morgan made the most money in the history of the United States banking system. Oh, Jamie Dimon. Oh, well, I need to do a better impression, but that guy, he always, something about him. This, okay, this, when we had this, look at this. That's a chart of bank failures, okay? All right, that's the great financial crisis. That was last year. It's 2024 now. How many times do I have to tell you that? That was last year. 2024. Do you notice something? Take a good look, because now I got to look at it. Okay, do you notice something on this? We had more bank failures, over $500 billion in 2023 than we had during the worst year of the great financial crisis. The great financial crisis, oh boy, this guy, he's making another appearance. The Black Swan, right? That's it. No more Black Swan. What the heck? Huh? And JP Morgan has their best year in history? Wow. Get stuck in. Jake says, Ron, your face might get stuck like that. Like Jamie Dimon. I don't know how he does it. Anyway. Doesn't make sense, does it, guys? What the heck is going on? All right. No, I don't know where this came from. While we got the entire market cap of the silver industry, I don't know why I wrote this on my notes, it's $17 billion. Oh, that's why. Think about this. JP Morgan took in $50 billion in profit. $50 billion. Sonny, little lass, gal, there's a lot more women coming into stacking. $50 billion. Okay? Mind-numbing. Consider this. That's almost 3 times. One quarter? Or was that whole year? Annual. 1 year. 50 billion. That's almost 3 times what the entire market capitalization, the entire value of the silver mining sector is, which is 17 billion. Heck, that's probably old data. It's probably 16 or 15. 3 times 17 is 51. I have a degree in accounting and a calculator. Anyway, think about that. JP Morgan made as much money last year that is equal to 3 times the entire value, 3 times the entire value of the silver mining sector. That doesn't make sense. JP Morgan got convicted of metals manipulation, right? I was writing this note down and I said, the big banks are out of control. Remember what Thomas Jefferson said? Thomas Jefferson said that the greatest threat to our country are big corporate banks, central banks, more of a threat than any army could present to us. And I was writing that down. big banks are out of control. And I misspelled it. I said bug banks, B-U-G. And I thought, I'm going to leave it that way because that's what these things are. They're like bugs, absolute bugs. I don't know, guys. What do you think? What is going on? JP Morgan, during the year when we had more bank failures than during the great financial crisis, creates profit, not revenue, profit, right? Profit. That's like in your pocket, profit. That's equal to 3 times the entire silver mining sector. Is it crazy? If it is, this is a participatory show. Type C. That's little c. I type big C's because it's big crazy. I don't know, guys. To me, this does not make sense whatsoever. You want to hear about New Jersey? I'm no more imitations. I've never been to New Jersey or New York. I've been all over the world, but I've never been to New Jersey or New York. I want to bring my daughters. They've never been on an airplane. If you guys have kids, and I'm kind of excited now, they're 11, and I want to bring them on an airplane. But then I look at hotel rooms. If you've got a big mansion in New York or New Jersey with a couple extra rooms and a basement, so I could do Ron's basement, let me know. Send me an email. The nerve of me to ask for such things. Don't worry about Super Chat. I just want to come live with you in your house for a few days with my kids. And Susie, she'll keep things under control. Don't worry. I do make pancakes. Susie's at her mom's this morning. You know how hard life is, right? I got to take care of the kids, trying to get this live stream together. And then they get up and they're like, we want pancakes. I'm like, okay. So I make pancakes and I'm halfway through making pancakes. And I see that Susie, who's not here, she's at her mom's. Susie's very sweet, takes care of her mother, who's elderly, needs 24-hour assistance. And then I'm making pancakes and I look and there's a pan on the counter that says for breakfast. We'd had some frozen donuts and I was like, oh, shoot, man. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, New Jersey. And I'm trying to come stay at your house. Whoa. Just for like 2 nights. New Jersey, big news, gold and silver. I digress. I need to stay on track. I get yelled at by my wife, by you guys. To the governor of New Jersey. Anyway, New Jersey passes a bill to remove sales tax from gold and silver. This comes from the 10th Amendment Center from Trenton, New Jersey. Yesterday, the New Jersey House and Senate gave final approval to a bill that would exempt gold and silver bullion from state sales and use taxes. Enactment of this legislation would not only relieve some of the tax burdens on investors, but it would also eliminate one barrier to using gold and silver in everyday transactions, a foundational step for people to undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money. First it was Kentucky, now it's New Jersey. The country, again, guys, big deal, New Jersey. You probably don't live in New Jersey. You probably don't live in Kentucky. You probably don't live in Missouri. You probably don't live in Texas. Maybe you live in Florida, wherever you live. It doesn't matter. Okay? Basement dwellers, we all come together. We have a common interest, right? And one of our common interests is silver and gold. One of our common interests is what our founding fathers put in the United States Constitution, which explicitly told you and me that silver and gold are real money. What we do have an interest in is one by one, and there's 50 altogether, right? And it's growing. States are taking action to allow their citizens to use silver and gold as real money. So while New Jersey may not impact you, look, I'm not going to go to New Jersey and buy gold and silver, right? I could care less about people that have to pay sales tax in New Jersey. I do, but I don't. It's like I'm worried about the pain in my shoulder, right? I am worried because we are all part of the same team. Okay? When you're here right now, you're part of the basement dweller team. BD. BD? Basement dweller? Yeah, BD, basement dweller. My mom used to call me BD when I was a baby for a different reason, which I can't discuss here. But anyway, nonetheless, we care about gold and silver legal tender legislation because like other legislative things that have happened over, like, say, the last 15 years, like Like, legalization of marijuana. It happened on a state-by-state basis. Now, even in Missouri, apparently I can just go buy weed if I want to. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink alcohol. But when I did, or if I did in the past, not saying I ever did, but now, I was afraid I'd get arrested if I had ever done that. Now it's all legal. So these things can happen on a state by state by state basis and make a big, 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 big difference. And it's happening in New Jersey. The last thing I'm mad about, well, there's a lot more. But I'm mad. Okay. Where was I? So let's say something I'm happy about. Still, we have more and more women coming into the stacking community. We welcome the women, more and more people. We've got thousands of people now that join us on these live streams, okay? When we're live, we get several hundred, but then thousands of people watch them, including a growing number of women, which we are crazy happy about. I heard somebody say, who do you think bought all that silver and gold from Costco? Costco sold $100 million worth of gold. That is mind-blowing. In their previous 3-month quarter, $100 million. Those are new people coming to the gold and silver sector. Those are probably some basement dwellers that are joining us right now. It's a big, big, big deal. It's a big, big deal you're here, so thank you. I'm still mad. I'm mad about this. Okay? Even the big news outlets are saying this about gold, about silver, okay, and about the dollar. The dollar. Here. I'll just read you this, and then I'm going to tell you why it's a bunch of BS, basically. Okay? And this isn't Kitco saying this, but it's everybody. Gold's pullback following the hotter than expected CPI report is proof that the yellow metal is currently more responsive to the U.S. dollar strength and market sentiment than to concrete inflation data. All right, I'm going to stop there. All right, and because that's this common theme. Have you heard it? Right? Oh, gold and silver go different to the dollar. And yeah, it does. I'll agree with you. If the U.S. dollar generally, although on a day like today, I bet the dollar maybe is up. I didn't even look. I don't know. And gold was up when I came on. God only knows in the gold and silver market. All right, guys, we've been live here almost 40 minutes. Thank you for joining me. Right? Who knows? I'll get off and look, and gold will be down $40. I mean, you know what it's like to be or silver was up 70 cents. Now it's down $1.50. I mean, we can only laugh, right? But this common theme that, gold doesn't react to inflation, gold reacts to the US dollar. Yeah, sure, on a short-term basis. But the bottom line is that on a long term, okay, if we can, and you are a long-term thinker. I know that about you, right? Like, everybody's so short-term oriented now. Me included, but I'm also long-term. On a long-term basis, right? Gold does react to inflation. Any questions? Hold on. Let me point this out to you. Okay? All right? I was really fired up when I wrote this one. Just look at the gold price measured in US dollars from 1976 through today. 1976, I was 6 years old, waving the American flag at the kindergarten bicentennial parade, okay? You know what? When I was done, I remember my mom came and picked me up. I was at Lusher School in Florissant, Missouri. And I said, Mom, let's head to the coin shop because gold's only $100 an ounce. This was 1976. Come on, Mom. Now she's like, $100? That's a lot of money. I'm like, no, come on, Mom. It's bicentennial. I want to get an ounce of gold. It's only $100. If she had done that, which she didn't, I'm still mad at her. I explicitly remember. If she had done that, all right, that $100, that 1 ounce of gold would now be worth, what, 2040, 2030, 2000? It went up 20 times in value. But if you look at the dollar index, the DXY index back then, it was about where it is right now. So the dollar, and if you look at it from the perspective of like everybody does on a short-term basis, the dollar index, the dollar's just as strong in 1976 as it is today. Really? Okay. Okay, Mom. If Mommy and I had left that bicentennial parade and gone to the grocery store, which I think was called National anyway, and bought $100 worth of groceries, right? We would have been pushing like 3 carts out, right? Go to the grocery store now and buy $100. You can carry it all in one of those flimsy plastic bags they give you. Maybe 1, maybe 2. This is hilarious. I had a Missouri State representative here in the basement, and he said, this was great, talking about the value of the dollar going down. He said, one of my elderly constituents, and a guy in his 80s, he told his Missouri State rep, he said, I must be getting stronger as I get older because now I can carry $100 worth of groceries out of the store with one hand. We got to laugh at this. So this whole idea that the dollar is strong and that the gold, yeah, sure, it's going to, but over any period of time, the dollar is losing value. I mean, can you argue that? I don't, come on, Jerome. Let's call Jerome Powell. Let's ask him. Where is he? We haven't had Jerome out all week. Hold on, I need to fix him. He got curled up. Poor guy. Hold on. Don't worry. Jerome's coming. I just have one. I would love this. I know. Look, it's just the fact that they watch. We get joined on these live streams by a lot of the traders, a lot of the people at J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and that's okay. I don't mind giving them the real story, okay? I'm not really sure if Jerome's watching or not. I have heard that he does, but I'm not sure. But we just have one question for you, Jerome, right? Remember, we don't open the box. Oh, there he is. Jerome, I have one question. Has the U.S. dollar lost value over the last 10 years? Has the U.S. dollar lost value over the last 20 years? Jerome, has the U.S. dollar lost value since the bicentennial, 1976? Jerome, has the U.S. dollar lost value, okay, since 1971 when President Richard Nixon temporarily took the United States off the gold standard? And Jerome, would you say that gold and silver are a good store of value? I don't know, Jerome. I'm waiting for your answer. Us basement dwellers want to know. So that's why we buy silver. That's why we buy gold, right? The world, they are the superpower. Silver and gold are the monetary superpowers. This blows my mind to think about silver and gold in this light, but I really get a strong gut feel that this could be true for the metals as we move into the next 10, 20 years, right? That silver and gold, that the world is moving away from this one superpower model, right? We know the BRICS, we know the BRICS Plus, the ICU, all that stuff, that we aren't going to have a new country emerge as a superpower, but that we could see silver and gold emerge as a superpower. Is there evidence that this is going on? Well, we have evidence with geopolitical turmoil, like we talked about earlier, major wars going on in the world right now. But what about from a monetary and fiscal perspective, right? From a monetary perspective, the BRICS and the BRICS Plus explicitly talking about de-dollarization, right? From a fiscal perspective, right, the countries in the West in particular running untenable debt levels, right? So as we look at the big picture of what's going on in the prospect that we certainly could easily have silver and gold emerging, right? Not a country. And is it happening? Do we know that the other countries in the world, the United States supposedly already has a lot of gold, right? 8,000 tons. Ain't nobody seen it for a few years, but trust us, it's there, right? It's there. Stephen Mnuchin. I think he was Treasury Secretary. That guy really bugged me. You know what I'm talking about? Steve Mnuchin. He was from Goldman Sachs, and I think he was the head of the Treasury. He sent out a tweet that I'm at Fort Knox and all the gold is here. Oh, thanks. That's a great audit. Oh, yeah, sure. We believe you. Yeah. Yeah, we have no reason to question you, Mr. Mnuchin. Thank you, Steve Mnuchin. I would like to get Steve Mnuchin and Jamie Dimon down here all at the same time. I don't know if the egos would fit. Anyway, do we have evidence that the world is moving? Yes, we do, right? We've got plenty of evidence. We have potential for black swan events going on. People talking about cyber. I mean, it's a crazy situation. Hey, guys, we got the 200 thumbs up. Bright and early on a Friday. Thank you. Let's ring the cowbell. This is the bell warning. So to the guy who broadcasts this through the intercom system at Goldman Sachs, you might want to pause. We don't want to alarm anyone. Here comes the bell. Yeah, brother. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, on behalf of Susie and myself, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you coming to the basement. We appreciate the friendships that we've made, and I encourage you within this community, reach out to people. There's been a lot of great friendships, and friends are good, right? We know that. The more friends we have, the better. And there's plenty of great friends to be made here in the basement. There's plenty to be excited about as silver and gold investors. I understand it can get heady, right? But don't forget, guys, mathematics show no forgiveness on the altar of truth. And we're already on the gold and silver train, right? We're in the Ron's basement car. The locomotive is starting to steam. When that locomotive leaves the station, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people trying to hop on. We've got our seat. It's going to be an interesting ride. I'll see you soon.